Welcome to the Brent Gove Podcast with co-host Eric Lawfolm. We are building 1 million agents in 100 countries in 10 years. Now, here's your host, Brent Gove.
And welcome back to the big show. I'm Brent Gove, and we're so glad you're here with us on the podcast. My co-host, Eric Lawfolm. Eric, how are you today?
Brent, I'm doing great. It's great to be with you today and great to be with all of our listeners from all over the world.
All right. I hope you got your change for the snow. Where Eric lives at the base of the Sierra Nevada, they're supposed to get 7 to 9 feet of snow in the next 24 hours. So they're calling it Snowmageddon, baby. But be not afraid. We're here. The podcast is going strong. Tell them what we're going to talk about today, Eric.
We're going to have a conversation about prioritizing. And prioritizing is a super important skill set. And we all prioritize, whether you do it consciously or not. It's wherever you're putting your time and your focus and your attention. And where you put that really does make a difference. And so Brent and I are going to talk about prioritizing. And, maybe you can kick us off with what when you think of the word prioritizing, what comes to mind for you?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up. I first learned about this when I was a 19-year-old dishwasher at Chico State going to college, and someone handed me a book. This guy, Glenn Bland. You ever heard of him, Eric? Glenn Bland.
Oh.
So he was a very successful guy, and he started Coaches Insurance in the 70s. And he said, in the next 10 years, I will own the largest privately owned insurance company in the world. And if you know anything about insurance companies, they're multi-billion dollar, huge Lloyd's of London. These are massive companies, but he was going to be private. He wasn't going up publicly against the big ones, but he said, I'm going to do this from scratch in 10 years. 10 years later, Coaches Insurance became the largest privately owned insurance company in the world. The man did it. Exactly. So they said, naturally, when you do that, when you stay like Babe Ruth, you're pointing to center field or left field, say it's going over the left field wall. Now I'm going to put it over the right field wall. Babe Ruth famously would point where he was going to hit the home run. And so he pointed and then he executed through priorities. And they said, dude, you should write a book. So when you're really successful, you go, man, you should write a book. He did. He wrote a book. It's called Success, the Glenn Bland Method. And in there, he talks about priorities. So that's where I first learned about it. And I think it was chapter 2 or 3. He has this whole chapter. You know what it's called, Eric?
What's that?
30 golden minutes. And so what the chapter's about is every morning, just get up 30 minutes earlier than you were planning on, grab yourself a yellow notepad, a cup of good Puerto Rican coffee, preferably, and have a cup of coffee and just spend 30 minutes thinking about what really needs to happen today. And just let your mind go. Like, I got to go to the dry cleaners. I got to go to the doctors. I got to go by the school and do this for my kids. I have to go get this appraisal done. I have to go check on this cellar. I need to put signs in the yard over here. I need to write an offer. I need to work on my listing. All the different things. And you think about it for 30 minutes and you pray and you think about it. And then what he did, he says, then look at that list and go, what's going to move the needle most in my life today? Like if I only got 3 things, maybe I have 20 things on the list, but what if I did these 3 things, what would be huge today? What would be this, and this? And the problem is sometimes those things are hard or they're uncomfortable, and prospecting, and you're just, maybe you're uncomfortable doing that, but it's really what's going to move the needle for you financially. And so then you circle those items. So I put circles off to the left, and then you prioritize them. And I would put those in yellow highlighter. I'd highlight them. And then I go, okay, what are the 3 most important things? The next ones. I go, well, that'd be number 4, 5, and 6. And I just put little circles, and I'd highlight only the circle. So the 3 that were highlighted, circle, and the entire item all the way across, all in yellow. So I had like 3 items jumping off the page of 10, 15, 20, sometimes 30 items. 3 like these. And then from there, I go, okay, which of these 3 am I doing first? Like if I got nothing done today, but this one item. And that's, buy flowers for your wife. It's her birthday, or, whatever, your anniversary. That's really important. That should be number 1, right? And so basically, then you go 2, 3, and then same thing. The next 3, I would prioritize, okay, this one's 4, this one's 5, and this one's 6. And then the rest you can get to. And it was just that simple, but I was able to do what really needed to be done. Then also, Eric, I learned to time block your day. When is it time to play? When is it time to go to the gym? When is it time to go on a date night? We would do that Wednesday nights and Saturday nights when you take the kids out. Tuesday nights because it's $5 movie night, right? It's smart to go on $5 movie night. You stop at Chevron and you buy candy and put it in your pants because they charge you $500 a candy bar at the mall. Am I the only person who did this with this kid? We were poor, man, and and so and so you maybe splurge on one bucket of coffee of popcorn, which is like $40 or some insane amount of money for a bucket of popcorn. That was it. That's all those suckers are getting me for. But and then Friday nights, and we would go to our family's real wild, crazy partiers. We would go to Borders Books. Friday night, everyone would pick a book, and I go get some coffee, and they would get hot chocolate, and we'd sit down and read for a couple hours at the bookstore. I know I'm a real wild man, a real partier. That's what they go. You could find them at Borders Books by the Roseville Galleria Mall Friday nights. In the rain, in the summer, we would do that on Friday nights. We're real crazy. But so those are some of the priorities in life that I led. I'll give it back to you, but that kind of just helped me in life.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I love the simplicity of it. And yet, probably a lot of people listening right now, they're just waking up, and their way they plan their day is they're reacting to the day, and they're not consciously creating their day. And so, let's talk about agent attraction, because you consciously created agent attraction. So how did you're prior to doing EXP and agent attraction, you're extremely successful agent, very busy being an agent. So how did you do that?
Great question. So prior to EXP, it was all sell, sell, sell. You're selling 30, sell 50, sell 150, sell 1,500. It was always sell more was always the answer, and do more with less. Keep your expenses low, keep your profit high, and raise your average sales price from 300 to 400 to 500 to 800 to 1.8 million, whatever you do, get it up. I mean, if you could sell 40 homes a year at 300,000, selling 40 homes a year at 600,000 is twice the income. Same 40 homes, twice the income. So you don't want to just sell anything, decide who your perfect avatar is. So I did those things, and there was a book that came out, The One Thing, right? And what's the one thing that'll save your marriage? What's the one thing that'll save your health? What's the one thing that'll move the needle in your business? What's the one thing with your kids? If you did this with your kids, what's the one thing that would make the biggest difference? It's a great question. And so in real estate, I decided, hey, if I'm leading by example, if I'm leading from the front and follow me, I said, if I'm on a listing appointment every single day, and I want to do 30 listing appointments a month. And I don't work on really Fridays or Sundays at the time I was doing this. So I had to do that means some days I did 2 a day. But I said, my goal is to do a minimum listing appointment every single day, and sometimes 2 a day. And if you do that 4 or 5 days a week, there's 4 or 5. And if you 2 days a week, you do 2, there's your 7. So I go, if I'm going on a listing appointment every day, 30 a month, I'm going to probably list easily 15 to 20 of those. Easily, probably 20 plus, 20, 25. But I go, and that'll take care of all the financial needs, everything. So I kind of nailed it down. This is my priority. This needs to happen before anything else happens. And so I was able to execute on that. It took me 2 years of struggling, 2 years of crawling, scratching, biting, just like because anyone here listening to this podcast, Eric, could say, great, I'm going to go on a listing appointment every day. Like, would you go on a listing appointment tomorrow for $900,000 or 1.7 million or 5.2 million? Well, yeah, sure I would. Go do it. Well, I don't have anyone. So it's not that you're not willing to work. It's that you haven't made lead generation a priority. You haven't said, okay, my number one priority, unlike Brent, because I already mastered lead generation, I moved on to the next thing, lead conversion, which happens when you have listing appointments. So your number one priority for probably 90% of the people hearing this podcast is to master. Oh, I'm good. No, good is how you live an average life. Mastering lead generation, being an absolute expert, is how you become extraordinary. What is extraordinary? It's the ordinary person putting the extra effort, making them extraordinary. And so I did that. It took me 2 years. And after 2 years, the phone was ringing every day for people who wanted to list their homes. And so that's what I was doing. And that made all the difference in the world. I almost forgot your original question, but I think I answered it somewhere dancing around the edges, didn't I?
Yeah, well, we were talking about, I loved your answer. And let's come back to agent attraction because you were
Mhm.
producing, but now you have a new hat. So it's a whole different way of
That
thinking.
was the
So
question.
how
Yes.
did you put that new hat on? Because I think a lot of agents never get that hat on. They come to EXP, they want to do agent attraction, but they're just producing because that's what they know.
Yeah,
How did
yeah.
you do it?
Yeah, so I'll finish the listing story and explain because it ties into it perfectly. So I was in real estate for 10 years before I became a listing agent. Buyers were just easy for me. I could meet them, show them property, write an offer, close in 10 days. We closed everything in 10 days, no 30-day escrows. Quit thinking analog. This is the digital age, AI. Quit thinking 30-day escrows. You get lenders do them in 10 days all day, every day. If you get the listing agent paid in 10 days, if you get the seller paid in 10 days, they're going to take your offer over everyone else. There'll be 15 offers. They go, don't counter anyone, just counter me. Because if we get the price right, I'm closing in 10 days. I'm the guy who's going to put $18,000 in your bank account in 10 days. Tell the seller gets all of his proceeds in 10 days, and then we'll give him 45 days rent free, no security deposit. Let him stay for 45 days. No rent. We're not going to dicker over rent. Stay there, enjoy your home, and go. And so, I would do those things. But so here's the deal. I had to fight to become a listing agent and to how to do lead generation. So same thing, people try agent attractions. This is where I'm tying it in. I got back here and they're like, well, I tried it. It's hard. Well, I tried to become a listing agent several times and it was hard and I didn't like it. I'm like, yeah, I enjoy buyers so much. I don't need to be a listing agent. I'm just going to work with buyers. But after 10 years, I got a little tired because they want to yank you away from Little League, from soccer, from your kids are doing a show at night, but you're late writing an offer and you show up 30 minutes late. And I'm guilty of a lot of those things. And so what I had to do was struggle through and spend 2 years to learn how to become a listing agent. So you may need to spend, I hate to tell you this, 6, 12, 18, maybe 24 months to learn how to do agent attraction. So because my wife taught me something 40 years ago. She said, face your fear and it'll disappear. Run and hide, it'll be magnified. I get it that it's scary. I get it that it's uncomfortable. I get it that you're probably not any good at it. Come golfing with me. If you haven't done it, you'll be terrible. You'll be on 4 because you'll be slicing and hooking. But if you play every day with me for the next 100 days, I'll be getting you. You just hit it, fly right onto the green. You putt a 10, 15, 20-foot curling putt, boom, in the cup, and you're addicted to golf like me. But everybody's terrible at the beginning. And so back to agent attraction, because I understood I had patterns I had copied, I said, I may not be great at this. This isn't what I do, but I will meet somebody every day at 7:30 a.m. for coffee. And so I set the goal. I'm busy. I'm going on 1 or 2 or 3 listing appointments a day, 1 or 2 or 3 listing appointments a day, 1 or 2. Sometimes 3 was a good day, but usually 1, occasionally 2, maybe twice a week, and maybe once every 2 weeks I do 3 in a day. So, but what I did was, so I'm busy. I got these kids. I have a bunch of kids. I've been married all these years. I'm trying to be a husband, trying to be a dad. I'm trying to be a businessman, a lead generator, all these things. So I said I could only do coffee Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I golf Friday mornings. That is sacred. That's like church. I don't miss church. I don't miss golf. Okay. And church is more important than their golf. It's a close second. And so I golf with my pastor. So it's like church. But for 25 years, I played golf Friday morning and wouldn't go on a listing appointment and I didn't do agent attraction. But Monday through Friday, 7:30 coffee. And I talked to them about their future, their goals, find out what they want to do, how I could possibly help them, who I could introduce them to, come from value. And when the timing was right, talk to them about EXP. So that was my secret. And a lot of people are doing stuff with their kids in the morning. They couldn't meet me at 7:30. So I did lunch on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So to answer your question, this is how I fit it into my busy life. I was going to meet a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 7:30 or Tuesdays and Thursdays at lunchtime. And I did that. And in 5 months, I recruited, sponsored, attracted, listed 25 agents. By the way, during that 5-month period, Eric, I listed 25 homes. That pays me nothing today. The 25 agents I listed pays me millions and millions and millions of dollars a year annually today. So listing agents is so much more valuable than listing $5 million homes because you'll get paid, you'll pay your taxes, hopefully, you'll spend the income, it's gone, hopefully you invest some, but it's over, capiche, nothing. My parents did real estate 55 years, retired as brokers, 75 and 76. Now my dad's 90, my mom turns 89 here. They haven't been paid $1 from Coldwell Banker in the last 15 years. It's the worst thing you do for your retirement is be a real estate agent. There is no, you get your last escrow, you get your last check. They will not keep sending you checks. You are paid to produce escrows. So it's worth it to not master the short game. What is mastering the short game? Selling 70 homes a year, selling 170 homes a year, selling 1,700 homes a year, 700. You're mastering the short game. When you stop, you get nothing forever. Do the math. Hey, the ROI on this investment is nothing forever. Oh, let me put my money in that. But we put our time into that with real estate. And to get it, you have to do it. You need the money. But on this agent attraction piece, like, well, I've tried it. It didn't work for me. Don't talk to new agents. I didn't talk to new agents. They had to sell at least 10 homes a year. I was like, well, I don't know anyone like that. Neither did I. I had to go meet them and find ways to go to events and put myself in those situations. And I did. And because they sold 10 homes or more a year, I didn't have to teach them anything about real estate. And then they told their friends who told their friends. I made a lot of income quickly. I think by my 5th month, it was 25,000 a month. By my 13th month, it was 55,000 a month. And by my 17th month, it was over 800,000 a month. 17 months later from scratch, I made almost $1.3 million in revenue share outside of real estate. So this little recipe I'm giving you really, really works. If you don't talk to new agents, and you have the gumption to figure out how are you going to meet with someone. I'd call them Fridays from 2 to 5 and set coffee appointments. Meet for coffee next week. I'll bring some bagels, coffee, stop by Noah's Bagels. Oh, we'll meet for lunch. Oh, you like Thai food? You like Mexican food? You like Chinese food? What do you like? Soup, salad? And I'd bring a little food and we meet them at a title company in the glass conference room where we wouldn't be distracted and where they wouldn't see their broker, another agent. They could have privacy. And I'd play the model, explained how real estate works, and boom, that's how it works. It's a long answer, but that's how I prioritize it and fit it into my busy life.
Fantastic. I want to share a quick example just to get everybody listening thinking. And I was talking to an EXP agent the other day, and he was doing agent attraction with this person. And then that person went with they still signed up with EXP, but with somebody else. And so they were frustrated. They didn't sign up with me. And I said, okay, well, how much time have you spent creating your listing presentation, working on it, honing it, perfecting it? And they go, a lot. And I go, great. How much time have you spent on your EXP agent attraction presentation? And they go, hardly any. And I go, well, there's
there you go.
There. I said, so I want you to work on, you already know the skill set of how to prepare a presentation. This is just a different type of presentation. So for all of you listening right now, our conversation today is around prioritizing. So if you're wanting to do agent attraction, it's a prioritizing, and part of it is the skill set of delivering that presentation like a listing presentation. Before we wrap up, Brent, we've been talking about business, which is an important part to prioritize, but let's talk about areas outside of business, like our marriages or our family, and making sure that we're not just crushing it in real estate, but then we're failing in our lives.
Good point. Like, say your marriage is in trouble. I'd prioritize going to a marriage retreat, right? Going to counseling. Oh, that sucks. Then your marriage is still going to suck. Go to counseling, go to retreats, get around couples with good marriages, ask questions, be coachable, teachable, all those things. And then, well, my health's bad. Well, then hire a trainer and go to the gym 5 days a week. Well, that costs a lot of money. Well, so does dying. It costs everything you got. So I spent some money, if I said, hey, there's a condo, view of the ocean, these things are selling for, $800,000 a pop. You can get it for $150,000 right now, and maybe $30,000 of rehab, new carpet paint, this, that, and it's worth $800,000. How many of you would find $150,000? Like, yeah, but you won't find the money to pay a trainer and to join a nice gym and to go make it a priority. Because you only got one body, you only have one chance at it. So buy the supplements, go to the gym, walk, exercise, breathe, do all the things you got to do. And so you got to prioritize that in your life. And so, so same thing with your kids. Maybe you're in a bad spot with a teenage son or daughter or something. Make it a priority to spend time with them. How do you spell love? Time. That's how kids spell it. Spend the time. It means you care. Oh, I care, but you never spend time. They go, he doesn't care. She doesn't care. Spend time with them. Leave your phone in the car. Be present. My psychologist or counselor in 2010, when Kathy and I married, she always said, you got to be present. I hated hearing him say it. Just bother me. Be present. I'm here, aren't I? But, right? But, you could be there, but you're not listening because your mind's somewhere else. So be with the ones you love. Be their body, mind, and soul. Be all in. Leave your phone in the car.
Fantastic. And at the beginning of our podcast, Brent mentioned a book, Success, the Glenn Bland Method. And while we were on the podcast, because I have I don't have to put my credit card in on Amazon. You just click the button and you can order it. So I went and ordered the book. So
That's awesome.
that book is on its way.
It's an old book, dude. It's over 40 years old, but principles are principles. That book will serve you.
You had me at, I'm going to build the largest private insurance, and then the guy did it. I'm like, I want to learn from that guy. So that was really inspiring. And at the end of the day, we're all prioritizing. The question is, are you consciously doing it, or are you just reacting to the day? And I wanted Brent to talk about prioritizing because it's a very key part of his life. I've gotten to know you, Brent. You're very intentional, with the things, with your faith and with your business and with your marriage and with your kids, and just the way that you operate in the world. Prioritizing is a very, very important part of how you do it. And I wanted everybody to hear, some of the ways that you do it. So really inspiring podcast today.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks, Eric, man. Great for everyone to be with us. And let's wrap it up the way we always do, Eric.
Fantastic. Well, I always encourage all of you to listen to the podcast multiple times to put the best ideas in your subconscious mind. And today, this one really hit home for me. So I'm going to personally be, even though I was the co-host here, I'm going to listen to this podcast multiple times. And we also encourage you to share the podcast with your team and with your organization so they can benefit from these powerful principles that Brent shared. That's going to wrap up our podcast, and we'll see you on the next podcast.
See ya. Okay, so here's the deal. We have incredible information, video content on my YouTube channel. Go over there and make sure you subscribe. And it's vital that you ring the bell. If you ring that bell every time I put out new content, it's actually going to notify you, and you can get the latest and greatest of what's happening at EXP. Now, don't forget to like me on Facebook so you can also get that content, and then follow me on Instagram. We're hitting everybody high, low, and in between. We're trying to get the information out there so you can build big businesses, revenue share organizations. So go to YouTube right now. Please subscribe and ring that bell. Like me on Facebook and follow me on Instagram. We'll see you out there.